Today, we're going to take a tour of the Patrick and Joan Leigh Fermor house in Kardamyli, Mani. Let's go. But first, a quick and dirty on who Patrick Leigh Fermor was. An English spy, soldier, writer, and scholar, now famous for his epic travel writing. He was a polyglot. He learned Greek, French, German, Romanian, and traveled extensively throughout Europe on foot, chronicling his experiences and weaving in references to historical and literary details. It should be a surprise to no one that as a multilingual young British man who traveled on foot and blended into diverse cultures, Fermor joined the British military in 1939 and was quickly recruited to be a Special Operations Executive Officer in 1941. He was then sent to Crete, where he worked undercover, disguised as a shepherd or local, to gather intelligence, coordinate guerrilla attacks against the German occupation, and to obviously evade capture while doing it. On Crete, Fermor led the abduction of the German commander Heinrich Kreipe in 1944, along with Cretan partisans. The goal was to boost resistance morale and to disrupt German control without triggering reprisals. So they ambushed Kreipe's car, whisked him across the Cretan mountains, and evacuated him to Egypt. Fermor insisted on a bloodless operation. Only the driver was killed, to avoid giving the Germans an excuse for mass retaliation. However, months after the kidnapping, sometime between August and September 1944, the Germans razed villages in the Amari Valley and executed over 500 Cretans. These atrocities included the destruction of 9 villages and mass killings. Some have speculated these were linked to the kidnapping as revenge. And in 1958, Fermor published his book, Mani Travels in the Southern Peloponnese, which is a poetic book from his wanderings in the wild, remote region of Peloponnesos. When you read this book, you can tell that he's overtaken by Mani's stark beauty, jagged mountains, olive groves, and stone towers, and of course, Mani's fierce and independent people. In the 1960s, he and his wife Joan decided to make this picturesque village of Kardamyli their home, which became haven for writing, reflection, and hosting friends. Fermor designed the house himself, drawing on his eclectic tastes, Byzantine arches, Ottoman influences, and Mediterranean simplicity. The house is perched above Kalamitsi Bay and houses a main building with a sizable library, a shaded courtyard, and guest cottages. Before passing, he outlined his wishes be that his house be bequeathed to the Benaki Museum in Athens. And since 2019, it's been a writer's retreat and cultural site, hosting residences while preserving his library and spirit. And to maintain the upkeep of the house, it's also available for private rent at quite a steep cost.